left, to my left, Kirkland Dixon, to my right, Commissioner Bo Warren, and I'm David Thompson. Couple things that I'd like to announce prior to taking public comment. This budget that we've adopted has no increase in salaries, but it does have 13 full-time new positions. The proposed budget assumes a countywide millage rate of 10.415. That's the same millage rate we had in 23 and 22. The proposed budget assumes a fire district millage rate of 2.1. That is an increase if you live in an unincorporated Walton County of 0.265 mills versus last year's millage rate. Just to review Walton County's 5-year history, in 2019, Walton County's mill rate was 10.9050. In 2020, the commissioners dropped it to 10.677. In 21, we dropped it again to 10.413. And we 22, 23, and now 24 has been at the same mill rate. And as everybody's aware, the last 3 years have been highly inflationary, some total of over 25% inflation. And personally, I feel that that's been real good, that we've been able to hold the millage rate and not increase it. Couple things. Homestead freeze. Walton County is one of only 18 counties out of 159 counties where the voters voted to freeze your property value when you file homestead exemption. That means when you purchase your home, if you go and file homestead at the tax assessor's office, your value for county tax purposes only is frozen. It's a great deal. In Walton County, we have 43,000 plus parcels. This year, close of June, we had 22,312 parcels frozen. So this increase is advertised of the 3.29 is on those parcels that are not frozen, which is basically your commercial, your apartments, your land that's not in conservation, and that's where that increase is at. And we're prepared to pull your tax bills up and show you. I was exactly like a lot of citizens. Walton County sends out your tax bill, and on that tax bill is Walton County and the Walton County school system. If you live in the city of Monroe, it's also the city of Monroe and Walton County school system. And what we would like for you to look at when you look is Walton County's part. We had a lady earlier, and this does happen. If you buy a home from an existing homeowner in Walton County, and that homeowner has homestead exemption, her children bought a home, and they looked at what the homeowner was paying in taxes. Well, when they bought that home, that old frozen basis went away and the new basis come in at what they paid for the property. So they did. They had over $1,000 tax increase over what the older homeowner was paying. And your mortgage companies sometimes don't pick up on that, and they look at the past tax bill and don't escrow enough taxes to pay that first year's property tax bill. But we will be glad to listen to anyone's concern. The fire district tax went up for people in unincorporated Walton County, 0.265. For $100,000 in value, that's an increase of $10.60. That tax is there to pay totally the fire department's expenses. When I came in office, we were 24 firemen short to fully staff in the fire department. We have now staffed all those positions. And a point of interest, the Board of Commissioners, to help alleviate the fire millage being so high, we received from the insurance commissioner a premium tax on all insurance policies as issued. This past year, Walton County received $5,218,260, and the Board of Commissioners put that premium tax to the fire services within the unincorporated area of Walton County. So that keeps your fire tax premium or fire tax lower. So if we can answer any questions, we'll be glad to pull up. In basics, if you're a homeowner here, you will pay exactly the same amount of county tax you paid if you have homestead as you did last year and the year before, except for the fire district tax, and that for every $100,000 of value be going up $10.60. And that the reason the fire district tax has gone up the last couple of years, my predecessor never did adjust as he added fire stations and added expenses within the fire department providing service. The fire district tax never was adjusted. So there's a little catch up had to be done in that relationship. And I'm going to ask that anyone that speaks, please come to the podium because, we do podcast these meetings, and this morning they could not hear what people were saying, and I'm hard of hearing. A couple of them were soft-spoken, and I had a hard time hearing what they were saying. So please step up to the podium and tell us who you are, where you live, and we'll try to answer any concerns you have. And it's whoever wants to come first, please.
David, you might also want to mention the state tax credit that was awarded last year that the state will not.
Oh, that's true. Last year, if you've been here more than 2 years, and I hope you have, last year, the state of Georgia and the legislature and Governor Kemp pushed it. All homeowners, only homestead properties, got a credit on their tax bill, anywhere from $325 to $500. He didn't do that this year. So your actual dollar amount will be the taxes that you paid previous year. That credit, everyone's not getting that credit this year. And it was nice to get 1 year, but he's sitting on the rest of his bankroll up there. So please, I know you got some concerns. You come, please come forward, and we will be glad to show you. Last year when we showed, especially those with the homestead freeze, their taxes, actual tax bills did go up and did go up the year before, but it wasn't Walton County Board of Commissioners. They realized it was Walton County School System, School Board. They have a different animal that they have to finance and look after, and I'm not familiar with it. And we have nothing to do with their budget or their tax levy, except for sending their bill out with our name on top. So, please come forward. You got some young taxpayers. Welcome.
Just so I can better understand what I was hearing, it sounds like, because I brought my tax bill just to look at it, so you're saying that the county millage rate did not change, but something changed. So what went up this year besides the fire tax?
The only thing that the county increased was the fire tax.
Okay.
The millage rate, our standard tax, property tax mill rate stayed the same and has been the same now. This will be 4 years in a row.
Okay. I guess because like when we saw the notices, we're like, oh my gosh, they've increased.
We're required by law, and Jennifer, you might have to step in here. She's going to be our new finance director.
And I am a
If we don't accept what they say is the rollback mill rate, by law, we have to advertise a tax increase, and it's based on the overall tax dollars that we collect. And in our case, being one of 18 where half the digest is frozen, there is an increase in property taxes out there, but it's not on the homeowner, not on the homestead homeowners. And generally the commercial people and the apartment owners and stuff don't complain because they're raising rents a whole lot faster than their tax increase is. So it's a just thing that the county passed. It gives these homeowners a set dollar amount. The only way you're going to get a tax increase is if this board raises that mill rate.
So when would you propose to raise a mill rate? Is that done timely, like to give homeowners a chance to?
It's done annually, and what we have to do is first set a budget to pay everything. We set that budget, and then we look at how much sales tax we're proposed to get, how much loss, that's local option sales tax, there's two sales tax. Loss, like this insurance, you get a credit on your tax bill every year for that sales tax. You get a credit for your portion of that sales tax against your property taxes. But then you use your multiplier and try to come up with a mill rate that raises that much money that you need.
Right, no, I get that.
And
So like if you were to do that, if this is your annual time, that would be for next year's tax bill, am I correct?
Well, it'll be
The way that the notice read, it looked like the invoice, the notice that I had already gotten previous this year, oh, there's been an increase. I'm thinking I'm going to get a new one that's due in November.
You're going to get one that's due in November. That is not a bill.
Right.
That is an assessment with a prediction of what your tax liability would be.
That was my main question,
Yeah.
to see what kind of notice would if you were to ever raise the millage rate, which would impact.
It would be at this meeting right here, just like we're announcing this, except for if we raise the millage rate, a 3.29% wouldn't touch it. 1 mil would probably raise the total tax digest 6 or 7%. And hopefully we won't have to do that. We do have some hurdles ahead of us after this budget year, and that's staffing a new public safety facility, jail, which we be addressing this next coming year, and we'll see how we shake it out.
All right, thank you. That was it.
Thank you. For the record, would you please state your name, Ms. Moore? Didn't you say Moore?
Laura Morris.
Morris. All right, thank you. I try to remember, but sometimes I forget. Yes, who's next? Do me a favor while he's coming up. Look at your tax bill, your bill when you get it this fall, and look at what we, the county, charges and the school. Now, if you're 65 or older, this county, you can get out of 1 acre in your home school tax, which is a real blessing. We have over half the homes being sold today in Walton County are 65 and older, moving here so they don't have to pay school tax anymore. And I kind of like it. They don't bring a lot of kids and increase our school enrollment too. But yes, sir.
Tony Smith, I live over off of Criswell Road, and you just answered the first question I was going to ask you is when do you quit paying school tax in Walton County? So it's 65,
65 on 1 acre in your home.
gotcha,
And then when you get 70, I hadn't made it there yet, there's another, something comes off your property taxes.
gotcha. The other question I have for you is what is the distance in Walton County between fire hydrants?
They vary, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, if something really bad was happening, my house was to catch on fire, I don't know if they could get water to it before it was burnt down completely.
Well, you do have water on Criswell Road. There's a lot of,
We do, but no hydrants.
we still run tanker trucks.
Gotcha.
And unfortunately, when the first water lines were put in, they put them half a mile apart, which is way too far.
Right. Wait, and what is it, 1,500 feet? Is that what?
I don't know what the new code is. I think it's closer than that. And I think it's,
No, subdivisions are 500 feet,
yeah.
and I think county roads are probably 1,500. Is that about right?
But,
What it is?
and you got several different water systems in this county. You got the city of Monroe, which has lines out in Walton County.
Right.
And you got Walton County Water and Sewer, which service a lot. And then you got a Jersey water system, Circle water system, and Loganville water system.
Yeah, we're right on the city of Monroe, Walton County lines.
I'm well familiar with Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, it might be good to mention, talking about the school tax exemption for 65 and older, what does that process look like? It's not necessarily an automatic.
It's not automatic. You have to sign up for any. It's just like homestead. We had people that showed up last year. My taxes keep going up. Well, did you go down and pull up the tax assessor? You don't have homestead. What's that? And they've bought a house and hadn't applied for homestead exemption, and their valuations were changing yearly. I got a son that did that, and he still hadn't filed for homestead exemption. Some of them are a little dense that I raised anyway. Feel free. Come forward. I'm personally proud of, we've had 25% inflation. We've fully staffed our fire department. We've been able to take what little growth we've had and cover all that and keep the mill rate at the same rate. My first year in office, we lowered it that small percent, and it's been the same through this inflationary period. 3 years, we had 1 year that was, 13, 14%. We all see it. I mean, the joke was the most expensive vehicle you can drive today is your grocery cart, and has a lot of merit. Please come to the podium. Please. We're podcasting and they can't hear you at home is the main. It won't hurt a thing, please. We've taken time to be here. We would like to finish some questions.
So you said there's 25% inflation rate, correct?
Over 3 years.
Over 3 years. So does that not affect the property assessed values?
It does, and that's part of it, is property values have skyrocketed in this county.
Right.
But it doesn't affect John Q. taxpayer's property value if he has homestead exemption.
Okay.
There's it was, I guess the best way I can explain it, I have people today paying taxes in this county, and their value, they're not paying but $212 in total taxes. Their value was froze at a time when the house was worth $65,000. That house today is worth $280,000, but they're paying taxes on $65,000 to Walton County.
Okay. So the people that are not in that boat, the inflation doesn't make up for the loss, where the mill rate staying the same, you'd still benefit, you'd still make.
The mill rate, there's two taxpayers in Walton County. There's one that benefits from the homestead freeze, and then there's one that is appealing his values because it keeps going up. And he gets a tax increase like the apartment owners, Publix, Walmart, Home Depot. They get a tax increase if their values go up because we kept the mill rate the same, where the homeowner gets a discount because they're not paying that new appraised value, is how it works.
Gotcha, okay.
Now, it's not fair because you can have in the same subdivision, your neighbor's been there 20 years, and he's paying on, say, a $150,000 house. You bought the house next to him for $350,000. Well, you're going to be paying on $350,000 where he's paying on $150,000. But that's just the nature of the beast of the homestead freeze. And the longer you live here, the better off you're going to like it because your taxes are going to.
Right, I was just thinking with all of the growth and with all the inflation and I'm looking at the cost of lots right now and just how high that they are. I thought that may make up for.
It is helping us. We've done 4 pay raises since I've taken office in 3.5 years for county employees trying to keep up. That has helped us from not having to raise the mill rate. That extra income that's coming in is fueling the anti-inflation items that we try to address. Equipment wears out. I mean, the county's budget is massive. It's $83 million this year, over approaching 1,000 employees. We're constantly working, trying to make use of what we have, and this board is very conscious on a mill rate increase because they're politicians, and that's a good way to get yourself unseated off the board. There's a lot of things we've done, though. We started the first ever Walton County Employee Health Clinic. It opened last September. I was hoping to save $500,000 first year taxpayer dollars that we spend. We're basically self-insured except for a catastrophic loss. Well, we're approaching $3 million the first year in actual dollars saved for the taxpayers. That money's going to help on this new hiring spurt we're going to have to staff the jail and sheriff's administration. So we're constantly, we're one of the first counties to ladder U.S. Treasury's investments to bring in more income than the standard Georgia One fund that most counties keep their money in. That revenue's approached over $3 million extra dollars. I come from a background of business management and money management, and our finance department has been doing an awesome job, and we've changed the way we do business somewhat. So, and it's to the taxpayers' benefit.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And listen, if you ever have a question, I mean, you don't have to come to a meeting. Call my secretary, Donna Hawk, here. She knows who to put you in touch with. She'll run interference getting my ears sometimes, and that's what she's there for. But I'm kind of proud of Walton County. I'm proud of what we've done and where we're at. I see some of our shooting sports supporters here, and I can't help but brag on them. We have won state and national honors this year in BB, air rifle, archery, and shotgun, and very admirable. Give you a kudos, and hopefully see some of them in front of the full board with their medals. So. Well, this has been the quietest, nicest crowd. I want to thank everyone for coming. And if you forgot to ask something and you want to come back, we're going to have one more of these right before the board meeting next Tuesday. It'll be at 5 o'clock. And thank y'all.
Got another question, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, we got a question
Come to the mic.
from a future taxpayer. This is going to be great.
Hope you can answer this one.
Speak in the speaker.
Does the president pay taxes?
President pay taxes?
You know, he's supposed to. I can tell you,
He does too.
We all,
I pay taxes, and we all pay taxes in this country, one way or the other. Every time you buy a Coca-Cola, you pay some taxes.
But my mom doesn't let me drink it.
Oh, well, if you drink, she's a good mom, really. So, what's your name, please?
Lainey?
Say it a little louder.
Lainey.
Lenny. Okay, thank you. Everyone have a great evening. We'll close this and appreciate you coming.